This video is about Isis and the Temple of Karnak battle set but unleashes a curse. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. # Part 1 The Duel of Shadows. In the ancient land of Kemet, where the sun's rays kiss the waters of the Nile, there lay a grand edifice, the Temple of Karnak. Its colossal columns towered against the azure sky, adorned with hieroglyphs narrating the tales of gods and men. Within its sacred halls, whispers of divine intrigue rippled through the air, carrying news of a brewing storm, one that would challenge the very fabric of fate. In these hallowed grounds, the goddess Isis, radiant and wise, stood before the altar dedicated to her beloved Osiris. Draped in flowing garments of deep azure, her presence was as soothing as the gentle breeze that caressed the papyrus reeds by the river. The air buzzed with an unsettling energy. The harmony of the world was at risk. She sensed it deep within her, an ominous chill creeping through her veins. "Osiris," she whispered, gazing into the shimmering waters of the sacred pool, "what darkness stirs in the shadows?" Her voice, though gentle, echoed through the temple, stirring the very stones that bore witness to her despair. It was then that the feather of Ma'at, symbol of truth, fluttered down from the heavens, revealing the truth that enveloped the land. Set, the god of chaos and desert storms, had conspired to unleash terror and destruction upon the realm of the living. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of fear and foreboding. Set, with his fierce red hair and piercing gaze, was amassing an army of monstrous creatures, scorpions with wings, serpents of fire, and shadowy phantoms that could drain the very essence of life. His ambition was as vast as the deserts he ruled, and Isis knew she could not remain passive. She would have to confront him. Determined, she summoned the strength of the ancients, the wisdom of the sacred texts. With a flick of her wrist, she conjured a tapestry of stars that glimmered above her head. "I will not let your darkness reign, Set, this I vow." As she made her pledge, the air thickened, vibrating with the power of her incantation. However, in her fervor, she unwittingly unleashed a curse born from her fear and doubt. Riddled with ancient magic, it spiraled into the realm of the unseen, awakening the shadows that lurked among the columns and statues of the temple. The curse took form, a swirling mass of darkness that coalesced into a shadowy figure, an avatar of Seth's wrath. With eyes like burning coals, it emerged, its laughter echoing with the promise of calamity. "You dare challenge me, goddess, you will regret this day, for I am the harbinger of your doom." Isis steeled herself, the weight of her duty heavy upon her shoulders. "If doom is what you bring, then I shall stand against you," she replied, her voice steady and resolute. "I shall not yield to chaos." The ground trembled, and as if the very temple itself responded to her defiance, the columns shook, ancient stones groaning in protest. The shadow lunged, a distorted blur that raced toward her with the speed of a desert gale. In that moment, Isis gathered her magic, weaving it into a shield of light. When the creature collided with her barrier, a thunderous boom erupted. Light flared and crackled, illuminating the darkest for an ephemeral moment. The power surged through her, but the curse she had unwittingly released clawed at her, drawing venom from her very essence. "Your light is but a flicker against the abyss," the creature taunted, its voice a sinister melody that echoed through the temple. "You will find no sanctuary here." With unwavering courage, Isis channeled her spirit, transforming the energy within her into radiant spears of light. She hurled them toward the shadowy figure, striking it fiercely. Each blow resonated with the cries of those who had fallen to Set's ambition, warriors who had once fought for honor, their spirits now seeking vengeance through her. But as the shadow writhed in pain, it retaliated, sending tendrils of darkness that wrapped around her limbs, pulling her into a world of despair. "Embrace your fate, goddess, your brother has been lost, and your heart shall turn to ash." The mention of Osiris sent a jolt through her. Memories flooded her mind of his laughter, his love, the moment of betrayal that condemned him to the underworld. In that darkness, she found herself teetering on the brink of despair, but then she remembered. The love they shared was a beacon, igniting her resolve. "No," she shouted, summoning the strength of her ancestors. "His spirit lives on in me, I will not falter." With renewed fervor, she broke free from the tendrils that sought to bind her. The light surged forth, igniting the temple with a blinding brilliance that pushed the shadow back. Yet, the curse of Set continued to weave its treachery around her, each pulse of magic costing her strength. As the battle raged, the temple trembled and the walls echoed with the clashes of divine might. The creatures of Set, awakened by the chaos, clawed their way through the cracks of the temple, their shrieks filling the air with dread. Isis realized she must escape the confines of the temple if she were to defeat Set and reclaim the realm. "I will not be your pawn, Set," she bellowed, her voice a clarion call of defiance. My love for Osiris will forge a path through this darkness. With a triumphant cry, she leaped from the sacred ground, a brilliant comet streaking across the sky. The temple erupted into chaos as the shadowy figure screeched, its form distorting in rage. It thrashed against the pillars, sending debris crashing to the ground. Isis soared through the air, her heart pounding with the rhythm of 1,000 battles. She could feel Set's presence enveloping her, a darkness that threatened to suffocate her. With determination burning in her chest, she summoned the winds of the Nile, harnessing their strength. The skies roared as a tempest gathered, swelling around her. By the power of the divine, I shall cleanse this land of your blight, she decreed, summoning a storm that answered her call. The winds howled and the clouds darkened, echoing her fierce resolve. But as the tempest raged, she felt the weight of the curse growing heavier, the shadows encroaching upon her essence. The bitter truth pierced her heart. She was caught in Set's web, and with every surge of power, she risked further entrapment. Suddenly, a vision gripped her, a glimpse of the future where the Nile ran dry, the sun dimmed, and chaos ruled the hearts of men. The images flooded her mind, painting a picture of despair that could swallow the world whole. Set's laughter echoed through her mind, taunting her. Do you see, Isis, you will lose everything? Desperation clawed at her heart, but within that despair, she found a spark, a glimmer of hope within the darkness. She would not falter, she would not abandon her quest. With a fierce battle cry, she summoned the spirits of the warriors who had fought for honor, their souls intertwining with her essence. I call upon the strength of the fallen, she declared, her voice reverberating through the storm. Fight with me, brothers and sisters of the past. Together, we will vanquish this darkness. The winds roared in response, a chorus of voices rising to meet her call. The storm coalesced into a whirlwind of light and fury, driving back the shadows that sought to consume her. It was a clash of titans, a dance of divinity and chaos that sent tremors through the very earth. In that moment of unity, Isis felt a surge of power unlike any she had ever experienced. The shadows, once suffocating, began to fracture, splintering beneath the might of her resolve. The temple of Karnak became a battleground of epic proportions, a testament to the eternal struggle between light and darkness. As the storm erupted in a cacophony of sound and fury, Isis stood tall, determined to reclaim her destiny. But the curse of Set lingered, a reminder of the price she would pay to protect her world. Would the shadows consume her, or could she weave a new fate from the threads of despair? The answer lay ahead, in the heart of the storm, where the goddess would face her nemesis in an epic confrontation that would determine the fate of Kemet and the balance of the cosmos itself. But as the tempest raged on, her heart raced with uncertainty, knowing that the path ahead would demand sacrifices and tests beyond her wildest imagination. The duel of shadows had only just begun. # Part 2, The Reckoning of Shadows. The skies darkened, the winds howled, and the sacred temple of Karnak trembled under the weight of the impending clash. Isis stood at the eye of the storm, radiant yet resolute, her heart a tempest of hope and despair. The curse whispered round her, a chilling reminder that Set's vengeance was a force not easily quelled. But she was determined, she would not succumb to the shadows. With every breath, she could feel the spirits of the fallen warriors surge within her. They were a chorus of resolve, echoing their strength through her veins, urging her forward. Together, we rise, she cried, unleashing the power of the ancients, summoning a blending radiance that split the darkness like a bolt of divine lightning. The avatar of Set writhed in the chaos, its laughter now mingled with rage. You think your light can banish me, little goddess? I am the embodiment of chaos. Its serpentine form twisted and lunged, dark tendrils reaching out to ensnare her once more. I am not alone in this fight. Isis responded fiercely, conjuring a protective barrier that shimmered like the surface of the Nile under the sun. The tendrils collided with her shield, sending shockwaves of energy rippling through the air. Yet, the shadows were relentless. Brushing her defenses with whispers of despair, they clawed at her spirit. Remember your loss, dear sister. Remember Osiris, lost to the depths, lost to the darkness. The taunts twisted within her, threatening her resolve. But within the tempest of doubt, Isis stood firm. His spirit guides me, I carry his love in my heart, and with it, I shall unleash the might of Kemet. She spread her arms wide, invoking the spirits of the Nile and the ancient gods. From her fingertips, beams of light erupted, skating over the temple like a waterfall of stars. The shadowy figure recoiled, revealing the true depth of Set's wrath. You are but a flicker in a vast night, a fleeting dream in my domain. I will bury your light, and the sands of time shall remember you not. The ground beneath them quaked as Set unleashed a storm of scorpions, winged beasts with venomous stingers, each a harbinger of chaos. They swarmed toward her, their eyes glinting like molten gold, hungry to extinguish her light. With a fierce determination, Isis called upon the winds of the Nile, channeling their strength into a tempestuous barrier that pushed against the tide of darkness. By the power of all that is sacred, I shall not yield. She summoned the essence of the river, the lifeblood of Kemet, her voice blending with the roar of the storm. Just as her barrier surged, a colossal scorpion lunged, its stinger poised to strike at her heart. In a heartbeat, she pivoted, her reflexes honed from centuries of strife. With a flick of her wrist, she conjured a spear of light, thrusting it into the beast's carapace. It screeched in agony, collapsing into a cloud of shadows, dissolving into the very darkness from which it had spawned. But triumph was fleeting. The shadows thickened, and the air grew heavy with dread. This is but a taste of the havoc to come. Seth's avatar bellowed, a vortex of chaos swirling around him. Your sacrifice will fuel my dominion. Realizing the danger, Isis widened her stance, steadied her breath, and focused on the purity of her intent. I fight not just for myself, but for every soul in Kemet. You shall not claim this land while I draw breath. With each word, her heart pulsed with energy, and she drew upon the support of the ancient gods who had once walked among mortals. Suddenly, a booming voice resonated in the storm, echoing through the heavens. Isis, daughter of the Eternal, harness the legacy of the fallen, draw upon their strength. It was the voice of Osiris, emerging from the depths of her memory, igniting an inferno of love within her. Empowered, she summoned the spirits of the ancients, great warriors and wise sages. Each whispered words of encouragement, and their ethereal forms danced around her, amplifying her light. Together, we shall forge a new dawn. With their combined strength, she created a vortex of radiant energy, swirling around her like a cyclone of divine wrath. The shadows recoiled, but Set, in his fury, unleashed a torrent of nightmarish illusions. Visions of despair flooded her mind, battles lost, friendships betrayed, and the eternal sorrow of her brother's demise. Look at the shadows of your past, you are but a remnant of your former glory. Isis staggered, the weight of her memories crashing against her like waves. Yet among the darkness, she felt Osiris' love, bright and unwavering, a beacon guiding her through the storm. No, she shouted defiantly, her voice cutting through the veil of despair. I will not be your plaything, Set. I will not allow your chaos to erase my legacy. With a fierce battle cry, she launched herself into the fray, her body a comet streaking through the tempest. The storm intensified, swelling around her like a protective embrace, each gust fueled by the spirits of the fallen. She danced among the shadows, weaving in and out of their grasp, her radiant spear striking down any that dared approach. The battlefield transformed before her. The temple of Karnak, once a sanctuary of peace, had become a cacophony of clashing wills, light against shadow, hope against despair. Isis, amidst the whirlwind, became a symbol of defiance, a goddess unyielding in her resolve. But as the struggle raged, the very essence of her being began to unravel. The curse she had unleashed surged through her like a venomous snake, threatening to twist her intentions and pull her into the depths of chaos. The price of her power was steep, and each moment spent in the storm drained her spirit. Do you feel the burden of your own magic? Set's avatar taunted, a twisted grin spreading across its shadowy face. Your light wanes, but my darkness only grows. Isis clenched her fists, channeling the very essence of the Nile, drawing strength from the earth beneath her feet. You will learn the strength of a goddess. I may falter, but I will not yield. She reached deep within herself, calling upon the ancient power that flowed through her blood, an ancestral magic forged by love, loss, and resolve. In a final surge of energy, she summoned the spirits one last time, their voices merging into a harmonious crescendo. Together, we stand, they cried, their essence intertwining with hers, creating a bridge of light that spanned the battlefield. The shadows recoiled, sensing the tide of power shifting. The avatar of Set howled in rage, its form flickering as it struggled against the radiant wave. You think you can vanquish me? I am chaos incarnate. With a swift motion, Isis thrust her spear of light into the heart of darkness, the energy exploding in a brilliant flash that illuminated the temple. You are chaos, but I am the force that binds this realm. I am the love that conquers despair. The impact sent shockwaves through the temple, the walls trembling as light consumed the shadows, unraveling their grip on reality. For a moment, the chaos faltered, and Isis saw a flicker of hope in the darkness, a glimpse of a future free from Set's tyranny. But the curse still clung to her, and as the shadows dissipated, a final wave of darkness surged forward, enveloping her in a shroud of despair. The weight of the curse pressed down upon her, threatening to extinguish her very essence. No, she gasped, her voice barely a whisper against the tumult. I cannot. At that moment, the spirits coalesced around her, forming a protective barrier against the encroaching darkness. You are not alone, they chanted, their voices a lifeline drawing her back from the brink. You are the goddess of magic, the protector of Kemet. With tears streaming down her cheeks, Isis inhaled deeply, the warmth of their presence reigniting the flame of her spirit. I will rise, I will not be consumed, she declared, her voice swelling with determination as she forged a new destiny from the remnants of despair. In that instant, a brilliant light erupted from her core, a surge of magic unlike anything Kemet had ever witnessed. The curse shattered like glass, exploding into a cascade of shimmering fragments that rained down upon the temple. The shadows screamed, their forms disintegrating into nothingness, banished by the overwhelming force of her love and determination. As the dust settled, the temple lay in ruins, yet within that destruction, the promise of rebirth awaited. Isis fell to her knees, exhausted but unbroken, her heart racing with the echoes of battles fought and victories won. The shadows that had once threatened to consume her had been vanquished, a chaos receding into the depths of the earth. Amidst the ruins, the spirits of the ancients surrounded her, their faces full of pride and gratitude. You have triumphed, goddess, they whisper, their voices a gentle caress in the silence. # Part 3 The Curse of Sacrifice. In the aftermath of the tempest, the once mighty temple of Karnak lay in shambles, its great columns reduced to rubble, cracked and withered by the clash of divine forces. Yet, amidst the destruction, the air shimmered with promise. Isis rose to her feet, heart thrumming with the aftermath of her victory, a bittersweet triumph marred by the remnants of the curse. A sudden hush fell over the temple, the lingering scent of scorched stone and charred earth mixing with the sweet perfume of blooming lotus. The spirits of the ancients encircled her, their ethereal forms emanating a soft glow, illuminating the darkness that threatened to envelop the realm. They gazed at her with admiration, their voices like a symphony of hope. You have proven your strength, daughter of magic. One spirit in turn, his visage radiant with the light of ages. But beware, for Set's darkness is not so easily vanquished, his curse lingers still, hidden in the shadows. As their words washed over her, fear coiled in her chest. The curse had not just threatened her, but had woven its insidious threads into the very fabric of Kemet. What must I do? She asked, her voice resolute yet trembling, as the weight of her responsibility settled like a mantle upon her shoulders. To defeat Set, you must venture into the realm of shadows, another spirit whispered, her voice like a gentle breeze. There, you will confront the heart of the curse and face the remnants of chaos, but beware, the path will be fraught with peril, and your resolve will be tested. Isis nodded, understanding the gravity of their words. She could not allow Set to reclaim his dominion over Kemet. The love she bore for Osiris ignited within her, a flame that would not be extinguished. Then I shall go, she declared. I will confront these shadows and reclaim our destiny. With a determined step, she left the ruins of the temple behind. The sky above remained a tumultuous grey, whirling with the remnants of the storm. As she traversed the landscape, the very earth seemed to mourn the scars left by the battle, the cries of the fallen echoing in the wind. Upon reaching the edge of the desert, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that danced upon the sands like spectres of the past. The boundary between the world of the living and the realm of shadows pulsed before her, a shimmering veil that beckoned her into the unknown. May Ma'at guide your heart, Isis, the spirits whispered, their voices merging with the wind as she stepped through the veil. # into the realm of shadows. Isis emerged into a realm distorted by anguish, a desolate wasteland shrouded in perpetual twilight. The air was thick with sorrow, and every breath felt like a testament to countless souls lost to darkness. Shadows flitted between the ruins of crumbled temples and monstrous stone figures, their forms twisted and grotesque. Welcome, goddess, a voice boomed, smooth as silk yet laced with malice. Set's avatar materialized from the depths of the shadows, its eyes burning like twin suns. You returned to me, drawn by the enchanting melody of despair. How delightful to see you again. I have come to banish you, chaos. Isis declared, her voice echoing defiantly. You will not claim this realm as your own. Set's laughter rang through the shadows, a horrifying melody that reverberated in her bones. You may have defied me once, but do you think you can escape your fate? The curse I unleashed upon you is a part of you now. You can run, but you cannot hide from the echoes of your own fears. The shadows swirled around him, forming shapes of past grievances, lost loved ones, fallen warriors, and whispered betrayals. Each figure reached out, their hands grasping for her, their eyes filled with longing and pain. Feel their despair, Isis. Set taunted, his voice curling around her like smoke. You are responsible for their suffering. No, she cried, shaking her head defiantly. I will not be swayed by your illusions. With a surge of determination, she drew upon the light within her, a radiant aura emanating from her core. The shadows recoiled, but the burn of the curse lingered, tugging at her resolve. In a swift motion, she conjured a spear of divine light and hurled it toward the heart of the darkness, scattering the phantoms like leaves in the wind. I fight not for myself, but for the countless souls you have ensnared. I will not let your chaos win. Set's form twisted, anger igniting fire in his eyes. Foolish goddess, you know not the depths of despair. I will unleash upon you the shadows of your own heart. With a wave of his hand, the phantoms morphed, becoming reflections of her deepest fears, visions of her brother, Osiris, lost in the underworld, his spirit shackled in torment. Osiris, she gasped, the sight of his tortured form striking her heart like a dagger. No, I will save him. Can you save him? Set hissed, wrapping the shadows around her, constricting her thoughts. You are powerless against the darkness within. You have already failed him once. Isis felt the grip of despair tightening around her, but in that moment, a flicker of defiance ignited within her soul. I will not give in, she shouted, her voice resonating with the strength of the ancients. I carry his spirit with me, his love fuels my fight. With renewed vigor, she summoned the spirits of the fallen warriors, their strength intertwining with her essence, forming a brilliant shield against the encroaching darkness. Together, we shall reclaim the light. Hashash the reckoning. The shadows writhed in response, a tempest of chaos crashing against her newfound resolve. You cannot withstand the storm. Set roared, summoning monstrous creatures from the depths, a legion of nightmarish beasts, each a testament to his twisted power. Isis, unfazed, unleashed a torrent of light, incinerating the beasts before they could reach her. Each blast resonated with the cries of those who had fallen, the combined strength fueling her magic. This is for Kemet. This is for Osiris. As the battlefield erupted into chaos, the very ground trembled beneath her feet. Set howled in fury, his form shifting as he conjured shadows that clawed and grasped at her. You think you can defeat me? I am chaos incarnate. Your love is but a flicker against the abyss. But with each surge of darkness, she drew strength from the light within. Love is a force that can never be extinguished, she countered, her voice unwavering. With it, I shall forge a path through this despair. The battle reached a fever pitch, light and shadow clashing in an epic display of divine might. Isis, propelled by the love for her brother, wove through the chaos, graceful and fierce, her spear comet streaking through the night. Each strike resonated with purpose, each movement a dance of defiance against the darkness. And then she glimpsed at the heart of the curse, a pulsating orb of shadow nestled in the chaos. That is my target, she realized, determination surging through her veins. If I can pierce that heart, I can sever Set's hold on this realm. With a battle cry that echoed through the darkness, she thrust her spear toward the heart. The shadows recoiled, and in that fleeting moment of vulnerability, she felt the weight of her sacrifice. For Osiris, for Kemet, she shouted, releasing the power of her love into the spear. The spear pierced the orb with a blinding light, and the world around her erupted in a cataclysm of energy. Shadows wailed as the curse shattered like glass, erupting in a cascade of shimmering fragments that rained down upon the desolate land. Set's form twisted in agony, rage igniting his features. You will pay for this, goddess, he screamed, but the shadows crumbled around him, his power unraveling beneath the weight of her light. Hash after wrath. As the darkness receded, the realm of shadows began to collapse, disintegrating into fragments of forgotten memories. Isis stood amidst the ruins, her breath coming in labored gasps, her heart racing with the adrenaline of battle. I did it, she whispered, but the victory felt hollow. Though she had defeated Set, the echoes of his curse lingered in her heart. What cost remains, she pondered, feeling the weight of sacrifice pressing heavily upon her. The sacrifices of warriors and souls lost danced in her mind, a poignant reminder of the price of victory. Suddenly, from the remnants of the shadows, a figure emerged to Osiris, bathed in the ethereal glow of reconciliation. He bore a serene expression, his eyes filled with love and gratitude. You have conquered the chaos, dear sister, he said, his voice resonating like a gentle breeze across the desert. Your light has prevailed. Osiris, Isis gasped, rushing toward him, tears streaming down her face. I thought I had lost you forever. You have always carried my spirit with you, he replied softly, his presence enveloping her in warmth. Hash, Part 4, The Curse Unleashed. The remnants of the shadow realm crumbled beneath their feet, the weight of Set's lingering curse still palpable in the air. Isis, despite her triumph, could not shake the feeling of foreboding that loomed like a storm cloud over her heart. Osiris stood before her, a figure of divine grace, but the shadows of their battle still clawed at the edges of her consciousness. Isis, you have fought valiantly, Osiris said, his voice resonating like the gentle lapping of the Nile against the shore. But the curse was not merely a veil of darkness, it has rooted itself within you. You must confront its depths if you are to truly be free. His words struck her like lightning. What must I do? She asked, her voice a whisper, filled with both fear and determination. She felt an ancient pull, a compulsion to delve deeper into the very essence of the curse that still thrummed beneath her skin. Descend into the abyss of reflection, Osiris instructed, his gaze steady and unwavering. There lies the source of Set's true power, a reflection of your fears and regrets. You must face them to unravel the curse and reclaim your destiny. Isis nodded, steeling her resolve. The abyss of reflection was a treacherous realm, rumored to be filled with illusions, lurking horrors, and the echoes of one's own soul. Yet she understood that true liberation demanded sacrifice. With her brother's warm light surrounding her, she took a deep breath and steeled herself for the plunge into the unknown. As she stepped into the swirling void, the world around her faded and twisted into a kaleidoscope of colors and shadows. She fell deeper and deeper, the sensation of weightlessness enveloping her like a shroud. With each heartbeat, the memories of her past surged forward, both joyous and painful, filling her with an ache that threatened to drown her spirit. Suddenly, she landed with a thud on cold, hard ground. The abyss was a sprawling expanse of black stone and shimmering reflections, where the air danced with specters of light and shadow. "Welcome, goddess of magic," a disembodied voice echoed, reverberating through the chamber. "Are you prepared to confront the darkness that dwells within? Show yourself." Isis commanded, her voice steady despite the tremors of uncertainty that coursed through her. The reflections around her shifted and shimmered, forming an ethereal figure, a dark mirror of herself, cloaked in shadows and whispering fears. "You think you can escape me?" The shadow hissed, its voice a chilling echo of her own. "I am your doubt, your regret. I am the part of you that failed to save Osiris, the part that succumbs to despair." The reflection lunged at her, tendrils of darkness wrapping around her wrists, pulling her into a whirlwind of torment. She felt the weight of her failures crash over her, images of battles lost, souls forsaken, and her beloved brother trapped in the clutches of the underworld spiraled around her. "No," she cried out, summoning her strength. "I will not be defined by my fears." With a surge of divine energy, she broke free from the shadow's grip, her resolve ignited by the love she carried for Osiris and the warriors who had fallen in battle. "I am the goddess of magic. I will reclaim my light." Her declaration illuminated the abyss with a radiant glow, scattering the darkness. "Very well," the shadow hissed, its form shifting, becoming more substantial. "Then prepare for the true test of your heart." The chamber erupted in chaos as the shadows morphed into a legion of nightmarish creatures, wraiths and fiends conjured from the depths of her guilt and sorrow. With fierce determination shining in her eyes, Isis summoned a spiral of celestial light that coalesced into a radiant spear. "I will not falter," she declared, hurling the spear into the horde. The spear pierced through the shadows, exploding in a burst of brilliance that sent the creatures dissipating into nothingness. But the shadows returned, relentless and consuming, clawing at her spirit, twisting her memories into grotesque caricatures of despair. She could hear their whispers, taunting her with every failure, every moment of doubt. "Isis, you are powerless," they screeched, voices twisting into cacophony. "You let your brother die in the underworld. You failed to protect those who depended on you." "Enough," she roared, her voice resonating with the power of the ancients. "I am not defined by my past. I carry their strength in my heart, and with it I shall forge my own fate." Drawing upon the love that connected her to Osiris and the fallen, she unleashed a wave of light that cascaded through the abyss, illuminating every dark corner. The shadows writhed, recoiling from her brilliance, their long-held dominion shattering like glass. Yet, as the creatures fell, the weight of the curse still tugged at her spirit. From the depths of the darkness, Set's voice slithered through the air, chilling her to the bone. "You think your light can banish me? I am woven into the very fabric of your being, and no amount of magic will sever our bond." The shadows pulsed, and a visage emerged to Set, dark and terrible, his eyes glinting with malice. "You will always be a part of me, Isis. Your greatest fear echoes in my presence, that you will never be enough." A shiver ran through her, but she refused to yield. "I am enough," she shouted, her voice ringing with conviction. "I shall rise above this darkness." As she faced him, the abyss shimmered, reflecting the tumult of her heart. The battle transformed into an internal struggle, not just against Set, but against herself, the doubts that gnawed at her spirit. "You are just a goddess of magic," Set taunted, his form flickering like a dying flame. "You are powerless against the darkness you fear." But within that despair, she found a spark, a flicker of hope ignited by the memories of her fallen warriors and the love she bore for Osiris. "I will not be defined by my failures," she declared, drawing upon their collected strength. With every heartbeat I shall rise." In a flash of determination, she summoned the essence of the Nile, channeling its ancient magic through her veins. With each incantation, she wove a tapestry of light, each thread representing a soul she had lost, a battle she had fought. "Together, we shall vanquish the darkness." The abyss trembled as the light intensified, radiating from her core. Set's laughter turned to rage as he struggled against the brilliance enveloping him. "You cannot defeat me, for I am eternal. Your light is but a fleeting moment in the endless night." "Maybe," she countered, "but even the smallest flicker can illuminate the darkest shadows." With that, she unleashed a torrent of radiant energy, a blazing sun erupting from her being. The light engulfed Set, exploding outward in a wave of divine power that shattered the shadows, restoring the balance once lost. The echoes of the abyss began to fade, the darkness unraveling like a tapestry of lies, the curse dissipating into nothingness. As the shadows crumbled around her, Isis felt the chains that had bound her spirit shatter. "I am not alone," she cried, the realization washing over her like the first rays of dawn. "I carry the legacy of the fallen, the strength of my love." And then, in that moment of transcendence, the abyss transformed into a radiant expanse of light. The specters of the fallen warriors emerged, their faces aglow with pride. "You have faced the darkness, and in doing so, you have embraced your destiny," they whispered in unison. Isis felt a surge of joy as she stepped forward, their spirits intertwining with hers, illuminating her path. "We rise together," she proclaimed, her voice a clarion call that echoed throughout the realm. "The shadows of the past will not define our future." As she ascended from the abyss, the world around her shimmered with the brilliance of her victory. The temple of Karnak, once in ruins, now stood reborn, a testament to her strength and the love that had guided her through the darkness. Emerging into the light, she found Osiris waiting for her, a proud smile upon his lips. "You have conquered the curse, dear sister," he said, his voice resonating with warmth. "You have reclaimed not only your power, but the essence of Kemet itself." Tears of joy filled her eyes as she embraced him, feeling the warmth of his spirit enveloping her. "I could not have done it without you," she whispered, her heart swelling with gratitude. "You are my light." "No, Isis," he replied gently, stepping back to gaze into her eyes. "You are the light. Your courage, your love, and your resolve have triumphed over the shadows. Now, together, we will guide Kemet into a new era." As the sun began to rise over the horizon, casting golden rays across the land, Isis and Osiris stood united. The balance between light and darkness had been restored, and the promise of a new dawn spread across the realm. But even as they gazed upon the rejuvenated land,